welcome to this new episode. Now what we're doing is we're back down North America just to have a poke around basically. I've brought a few things over to measure up, shall we say, and we're also going to have a quick look at this as well. A few photographs of it fairly recently, and it's been put together right now. What this is a 34 Ford Coupe, 3-window. You might have seen I put up the pictures of the chassis. It was on the floor a few weeks ago, but as you can see it's coming together quite quickly. This has been built up with a repro chassis. That actually looks like the real one. Decent light in front beam. Ginormous rear tyres. And as you can see, it's all sort of coming together slowly. Being mocked up. This is the motor that's going to go into it, which is a 64 Caddy V8. 429 or something around that kind of size. And we've got an adapter plate going on at the moment to fit this gearbox. So yeah, that's the 34 Ford. I've brought down this. So after the Capri video, I've got some 6v6 related bits and pieces. This is an inlet manifold that will clearly take some kind of 4-barrel. So I brought it down just to measure it up because for the life of me I couldn't remember the sizes of Holly or Elderbrook carburetor flanges. So anyway, we just had a 600 CFM Holly on this, so it's that size, which is handy to know. And a little bit later I'll show you the cylinder heads that I have, which are big valve cylinder heads. Hopefully be creating some kind of RS 3.1 Essex engine. So that's what's going on there currently. So just in the workshop, I've noticed a few things. So what we've got is one ginormous axle. Which is currently being put together to go into this. This is having a new front end being put on it, so it'd be a steering rack, independent front suspension, and that axle is going to go in the back of this thing. And also while we're here, we'll just have a quick look at this Oldsmobile 442. Look at this. Incredible machine, looks really, really pretty. That looks like one massive big block to me. Looks very nice. So yeah, so that's that. Next up I'll be getting some images of a little Ford that's going to be coming up for sale. So I'll get some pictures of that shortly and show you what that's all about. Back in a moment. So, hello and welcome back. Now, what we've got here is a little job on the go. At the moment, it appears that British Fords can be worth a bit of money. So, what we're doing here is a 300e van has come up for sale. And we've got the job of putting together a little article to help it on its way. So, what we have here is a folder full of stuff, which is fantastic when it comes to older vehicles and selling things. There he is. Doesn't he look a prude? Hello. All right. You know, is your carer about? Back to it. So what we have here is, let's start off with some of this documentation. This is custom car from 1982. And we have this vehicle in here. Now, what we also have is documentation here. So this documentation is a folder. While I muck around with these, 1 second. It's a folder in its latest colour scheme. So it's got wolf race rims, it's now this blue colour, and we've got a folder full of this information. of what it looks like then, looks like now. So this is actually fantastic to have a vehicle that is clearly was modified before 1982, and we have all this documentation. Documentation alone is probably worth quite a bit of money, I think, really, let alone this vehicle itself. So that's that, and we also have information here and what's going on with its innards and how it's put together. So you've got so much information here, it's just incredible. We have that, obviously we have the magazine itself. We also have information of its legal life, as it were, really. So MOTs coming out your eyeballs, which is quite amazing. So essentially we have folders of the stuff. So yes, it's a 100E that's up for sale. It has clearly a little hot rod that was made back in the day, and it's now currently, as you can see, being painted. It's now looking like this with wolf race rims, and I'll also put some other pictures of it up as well so we can see them. But yeah, this is up for sale, so we shall see how this pans out, and I'll give you the information on what happens with it as we go along. So there we are, that concludes our little jolly out to North American. There's my inlet manifold shenanigans, which is going to help me in which way to go with that, so either carburation or throttle body. We're sort of seeing, basically pricing up, see what we can do. And we've just had a little look at the 34 three-window, and we'll get some more footage of that as the build goes along. And there we go, that concludes the episode for today. You have yourself a lovely day. So how about that? Pontiac Firebird. This was just come in from New York, of all places, and it's a 10-second car on a quarter mile. So it's here to be put on, back on the road, would you believe? So we'll see how this one goes and check out its progress as it moves along. Making a video. We're showing us a bit of leg, are you? Hey, 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 buddy shot. So when it comes to nostalgia with custom cars, we generally look at magazines from the 70s or 80s, and then we try and recreate them somewhat because the cars are well and truly well gone. But every now and again you get a vehicle that's still around, and with so much documentation, which we saw earlier, it's quite amazing, really. So here we are with the 300E. The van in its latest guise. Wolf race rims, reasonably new paint job. Sweet little van. So we'll just go around this briefly and just have a quick look. Quite amazing little thing. Roll caged up, got fire extinguisher in there. Look at that headlining. Yeah, classic. Fantastic thing. And the good thing about having all the documentation and its history with it is you can see whoever's owned it, what they've done with the paint over the years. At the moment it's got this bluey turquoisey colour. So classic louvers on the bonnet, as we just seen. Louvers on the rear doors. And we just have a look inside. So it's been de-handled. And in here we got the roll cage, all the dials and gadgets. Little bucket seats. Fantastic little machine. I'll just have a little pop up in here. Currently fitted with a 2-litre Pinto, which has just had a rebuild. That new brake master cylinder, it's all in there, all running, MOT'd, ready to go. Let's have a quick look underneath, see what's going on there. So from what I remember, it's got a 105 axle in it. It's got its standard front end, but I think it's got classic struts because it's got discs on the front. And it's got the Pinto, I think it's a 4-speed in there from what I can see, just see briefly. But there we go, sweet little car, isn't it? A blast from the past, which is still here with us. What fascinates me about these kind of finds is that in this case, this one has an awful lot of history with it. So in folders, MOTs, the magazine it was featured in 1982, Custom Car. So there's all that information, which is fantastic when it comes to these things. Unlike the Capri we saw the other week, that's a fantastic car, but it had no history with it at all. The great thing about that, it is an original 3-litre X, whereas this is an original car that was modified in the late 70s, definitely through the 80s, and is a sweet little car, British hot rod. And these are the sort of things that we were building back in those days. No doubt if I can find it, it might have been the local drag strip in those days at Blackbush. Let's see if I can find some pictures, you never know. So there we are, a little British modded van, Ford 300e. Not only that, it's got a peak on the screen as well. Fantastic. Alright, next time we'll see what we can find. You never know, it might be something else, maybe with an E on the end of it. Until next time, take it easy.